Just stay your course.
Piracy. Billions of dollars lost. Lawless masterminds hiding in complex territories from those that hunt them to protect their bounties.
I'm not talking about that kind of piracy.
This is a different kind of theft.
Online piracy. Illegally downloading and streaming copyrighted material.
Pirated video material gets over 230 billion views globally every year. Even here in South Africa, from Hollywood breaking local series, documentaries, news, sport, you name it. Dodgy streaming services account for more than 80% of global online piracy. These platforms are popular, cheap, and in demand. 𝗀𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗆 heads 𝗀𝗁𝐶𝗿𝗄𝗧's broadcasting cybersecurity anti-piracy division.
The reality is that pay TV in South Africa is expensive, and this could be tempting.
To maintain a legal, entertainment industry, it costs money. Pirates pays nothing.
The US entertainment industry loses as much as $70 billion every year, meaning not just less profit for big corporates, but significant job losses in an industry employing hundreds of thousands of people.
These dealers don't pay any rights holders any cents. I mean, no money is paid for the actors, for the songwriters, for the sportsmen. Nobody.
Piracy undercuts the premiums that pay for broadcast rights to bring viewers big sporting events and blockbusters.
It is million upon billion dollars. I mean, if that revenue stream is not there anymore, soccer will not exist anymore. Movies will not exist anymore.
It all starts with a good deal. I mean, a really good deal. Let me explain. Cheap streaming services are available on the net, and you get a lot of bang for your buck. Starting at 160 Rand a month, you get promised access to hundreds of international and local channels and streaming services, all in for one low fee. And some resellers even offer in-person contact. You can even visit their shops, but it won't be in a legitimate swanky service center. This is where you come.
Meet Tawanda. He's a friendly reseller. Sometimes he operates from the shop, and other times he's on the road, taking his services to the people. Apart from a smart TV or streaming device, you'd also need a specific app. The piracy involves several other steps, and you guessed it, Tawanda helps with all of them. While the device cost 450 Rand, the first month's subscription was all of 250 bucks.
And this will give me all the channels. Super Sport.
All the Super Sports, all the... It's even better than DSTV because it's got other channels that are not on DSTV. I've intentionally cancelled my Netflix, my DSTV, my Showmax, everything. I only...
More from Tawanda later. First, we wanted to know how it all works. Daryl Nyawasha is an IT specialist.
So this TV box is a plug-and-play device. The application is installed, and all we need to do now is connect it to the Wi-Fi so that it's on the internet, and then we're ready to go.
That took less than 30 seconds.
Yes, it's very simple.
Voila. So what do we have? Of course, Mnet, all the DSTV channels, National Geographic, Nickelodeon, something for kids, SABC. Oh, it's a lot of sports channels. Do we know where it's all coming from?
Just by looking at it, it's difficult to tell, but there are ways to figure out exactly where this data is coming from.
But at a fraction of the price, the content is definitely not coming from legitimate enterprises like MultiChoice.
If you use content that you actually don't get from a legitimate provider, actually you're stealing something that doesn't belong to you.
But what about those South Africans who don't see this as actually physically stealing?
It's definitely stealing. If you go into a dealership and your dream car is a Mercedes-Benz, and you go and you climb into that car and you actually drive off without paying it, it's theft. You actually stole something that doesn't belong to you.
But this doesn't worry resellers like Tawanda.
Don't worry, no one will hit you.
Okay, you haven't had any problems?
Please don't worry.
Okay.
I have more than 100 people now using
More than 100?
it, and the number will keep on growing.
No one got caught yet?
But online piracy is cybercrime, and illegally consuming content often unwittingly opens the door to a whole other world that could put users directly at risk.
There's no such thing as a free lunch. You are almost likely paying for it in some other way.
𝗶𝗵𝗀 is from the cybercrime systems at the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research.
It's safe to assume that the people providing these platforms have malicious intentions and are not necessarily the altruistic Robin Hood of the streaming community that just want to provide a cheap or free service.
Complying with legislation and safeguarding user security are not usually top priorities for illegal streaming platforms.
It's been found in many of these streaming boxes that they have backdoors embedded in them that can essentially give an attacker unmitigated access to your home network.
In other words, they have access to everything you do online: social media, email, banking, even your CCTV cameras, everything that's linked to your Wi-Fi. We're back with Daryl, an ethical hacker who tests IT systems for weaknesses. He analyzed the streaming device Tawanda supplied to establish if there were any real risks.
It was actually possible to compromise the device itself with almost no effort. And then we saw that the device itself was connecting to hundreds of IP addresses all across the world.
And this is all happening while you're watching your favorite show illegally?
Correct.
An IP address is the unique identifying number assigned to every device connected to the internet.
And I'm seeing a lot of flags there: South African flag, the German flag, the USA flag.
Essentially, that flag represents where the data you're watching is coming from. So if you're watching program A being hosted on a server in Germany, we would then have a German flag and the IP address.
So what we're dealing with here is not one big mother server.
No, so it's several servers sitting across the world. But exactly who it is difficult to know.
Working with international law enforcement, 𝗀𝗁𝐻𝗃's teams investigate illegal streaming syndicates from the small-time resellers to the super dealers and ultimately the server owners.
The person makes the most profit at the end of the day is the people that sit outside of the African continent. We are tracking pirates across the world. From Joburg to China, from China to the Netherlands, everywhere it is syndicates, international crime syndicates that manages these type of operations.
But low-level resellers downplay the risk.
So they won't catch me, but it's not legal. It's not legal, but no one's going to come for me.
No, you're paying a subscription. If anybody comes to you, you direct them where you pay.
At the end of the day, these streaming apps are not legal, and the money collected is essentially proceeds of crime. But I wonder if the people who are selling these devices see it that way. Hi, I'm from Carte Blanche. What you're doing is illegal.
No, I don't know.
You don't know?
I sell TVs and smart TV boxes.
We refreshed his memory and showed him our hidden camera footage.
Who is this over here?
That's me.
That's you, right?
Yeah.
You have done the subscription for over 100 people already. Have you told them that it's illegal and they can be criminally charged?
Tawanda was running out of words.
This is illegal. You know that. Ah, Tawanda, you know.
I can help you if you want me to help you, but stop pushing an agenda on me. You understand?
Let me help you understand something. I have you on camera admitting to know that it's illegal.
This is the language of a salesperson. Language of a salesperson. I now know it's illegal.
Are you going to stop, Tawanda?
I can stop now. I don't need this kind of stress on me already.
But 𝗀𝗏𝗧 is just one of many middlemen resellers, pushing one of many illegal streaming apps. And while it's an illicit market that needs constant policing, the reality is it's not a priority crime.
So it's left up to content producers and providers to combat it.
Using specialist software, MultiChoice remotely shuts down its content on illegal streaming services.
We identified our channel on this pirate platform that was played out with tools that we utilize. And as you can see, it's frozen right now. This is what the customer will see now. The content is gone.
Just like that.
Just like that. All our teams on the African continent has got this tool available for them, and we can actually do it 24/7.
But it could get worse than just losing your connection. Online piracy could actually land you behind bars, even as just a user.
I think the issue is people think that they won't get caught, and people think that everyone is doing it. But we see it time and time again where one of these operations and these servers get seized and they're able to actually pull everyone who's communicated with the server, even for the last 5 years. And you could be prosecuted for consuming that content illegally, and it would break both local and international laws as well.
And don't forget, even if you aren't the suspect, you could still be the victim.
You don't know who you are actually giving access into your home network. So even if you think you have nothing to hide, you still have something of value, something that can be stolen.
Because in a cyber world ruled by criminals, the true risks are often masked.